The NBA Finals are here and are set between the Dallas Mavericks and the Boston Celtics. This has the potential to be one of the best finals in recent memory. The amount of storylines and narratives that follow this finals is something we haven't seen before. From reunions, rivalries, and the similarities from previous finals runs, the stakes for individual legacies are also higher than they were in previous recent matchups. Two great young players looking to win their first championship before they enter their true prime, and today I'll break down all the narratives and all the storylines in today's video. Before we do that, make sure to like the video and subscribe. The first major storyline is the reunion between Kyrie Irving and the Boston Celtics. Kyrie infamously played for the Celtics for a couple of years in hopes of him being the face of the franchise. However, his injury in his first season allowed for Tatum to really cement himself as the future in his rookie season, as he took the Celtics to the Eastern Conference Finals, facing 2018 LeBron at just 19. Heading into the next season, with all the pieces coming together, the Celtics looked like a team that could run the East. However, it wasn't the case, as there were too many mouths to feed on that team. With Kyrie's contract up in the air at the end of the season, Kyrie famously promised Celtics fans that he would resign, but he ended up signing with the Nets instead. On the Nets, he famously stomped on the Celtics logo in the playoffs a couple years later. There will be a lot of tension from Celtics fans towards Kyrie, considering he could win his second chip against his former team. This is the best storyline for the finals. Another player that is facing his old team is Kristaps Porzingis. Porzingis was traded to the Mavs in Luka's rookie season to hopefully form the European duo of the future, a dominant duo that looked to run the league for years. However, in just 3 short seasons, the Mavs dumped him to the Wizards for essentially nothing. The duo that was promised never delivered, as Kristaps mainly played the shooter role with Luka instead of being his running mate. They had limited playoff success, and as time went on, it was clear that it wasn't working. After a couple bounce-back seasons in Washington, the NBA seemed to forget about him until this year, as he is playing a pivotal role in the Celtics' success. Not only can Kyrie redeem himself, but Kristaps can as well. Speaking of former teammates, Daniel Gafford was Kristaps' frontcourt mate in Washington just last season. The connection between these teams goes deep, including Grant Williams, as he played for the Celtics and Mavs in the span of the past 2 seasons. Now he's just watching in Charlotte, hoping the Mavs would win so he could get his ring. Speaking of other role players, everyone wants Derek White to win his first, as he's a fan favorite regardless of fan base. It would be great to see Al Horford win his first NBA championship after a long and consistent career. Everyone also likes Jrue Holiday and would like to see him win his second championship. On the Mavs team, everyone on this team is likable, from Derek Lively to PJ Washington, even Dante Exum, who revived his career this year. It would mean the world if he won the chip this year. For years now, when we're talking about the new face of the NBA or the future of the league, Luka and Tatum have been there front and center. There has been a silent rivalry brewing between these two that isn't that silent right now. The next dominant European superstar versus the American superstar are now head-to-head in the finals. The Tatum-Luka debates will be settled by the time the trophy gets raised, and both these guys have a chance to really cement themselves as true all-time greats at just 26 and 25. Their legacies are clashing and the stakes are at an all-time high. This finals truly welcomes in a new era of the NBA, and it's starting off with a bang. Hopefully one of the many finals matchups between these two could start a legendary rivalry for the next decade. Tatum and Luka against each other in the finals is a dream scenario for this season and for the future of the NBA. The time the Celtics won the finals was in 2008, when they added legends Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett, alongside Paul Pierce and Rajon Rondo. They formed a big four that ran through the East and eventually won against the Lakers. This team is iconic due to the amount of superstar talent led by the team, and it being the first Celtics chip since the 80s. This season, the Celtics got Kristaps Porzingis and Jrue Holiday, 2 former All-Stars, to add on to Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Add some good depth, and you have a team that was clearly the best team in the league, steamrolling through the East to the finals. To add to the connection, at the end of the tenure for the KG and Paul Pierce Celtics era, they were traded to the Nets. Those picks turned into their franchise cornerstones in JT and Jaylen Brown. The connection between the 2024 and 08 Celtics is unbelievable. The last time the Mavs won the finals was in 2011. A European superstar was looking to win his first ring after a disappointing season. That season was in 07, when they were the first seed and got upset. After surprisingly winning through a gauntlet in the West relatively easily, they faced a newly formed super team led by a 26-year-old superstar. Dirk and the Mavs had one of the best finals runs of all time, and Dirk had one of the best individual championship runs of all time. This year, Luka and Kyrie are trying to bounce back from last season missing the play-in entirely. After facing some tough teams in the West, including beating the best defense in the league in 5 games, the Mavs look to win a chip against a super team led by 26-year-old superstar Jason Tatum. After going all over the similarities and storylines, it's time for my prediction. The majority of people are rooting for the Mavs, while mainly Celtics fans are rooting for their team. I'm here to say I have the Mavs in 6. The Mavs have faced great defensive backcourts all throughout the playoffs this season. Kawhi and Paul George in the first round, SJ and Lou Dort in the second round, and Ant and McDaniels alongside with their length in the third round. So with a backcourt like Jrue Holiday and Derek White, who are great defensively, it's not something that the Mavs haven't seen before this postseason, opposed to the Celtics, who have faced Donovan Mitchell for 2 games, Tyler Hero and Tyrese Halliburton for 2 games. That is nothing compared to the Mavs backcourt. On top of that, the duo of Derek Lively and Jalen Gafford has been amazing for the Mavs on the boards and just being great players in the paint. The Celtics again haven't faced a two-headed frontcourt as well. Lastly, the level of competition the Mavs have faced and the Celtics have faced has been drastically different. While we know how good the Celtics are, they did have some hiccups against teams that were injured that they shouldn't be competing with the Celtics. Compared to the Mavs, who have constantly been clutch as a team, knowing how to close out games or blow out their opponents against stronger competition gives me more confidence in the Mavs for the finals. The finals this year is going to be amazing, with all the legacies and stakes on the line. The storylines and the narratives are going to be intertwined with all these teams, and just seeing two great teams going at it, I'll be there for every minute of it, for sure. Leave your finals predictions in the comments and make sure to subscribe.